Let's talk about immigration. No, immigration is something you do legally. This is more like migration. Who and what is really coming across that border and why? Just listen and then leave a comment and tell me why you think this is happening. Did you know China is now one of the largest landowners in America? Yes. They're saying that they owe around 380,000 acres. I think they owe much more than that. I really do. But don't listen to me.
Know that China owns 384,000 acres in the U.S.? Guess how many acres the U.S. owns in China? These are Fern Facts with Granny.
Yeah, she is almost correct. China owns a lot of land in the United States, way more than that 300,000 acres, 380, whatever number she gave. They own way more than that. They own almost like, if I would say, almost two states. The United States is slowly, I'm not going to say coming Chinese, but it's slowly becoming owned by the Chinese. Yes, by China. Those who were interviewed coming across the border, excuse were the same as the Mexicans: lack of jobs in China, being oppressed by the government, the communist government. Yeah, it's it's the same old thing we hearing. But should we believe this? Well, yeah, in a way, maybe not. There's more going on there than meet the eye, of course. I can say that.
China actually owns way more than 384,000 acres, and I'm going to go through the details. The 384,000 acres was reported in 2021 by the USDA, so we're almost 2 years behind already. The latest land grab was the Fafine project over in North Dakota, Grand Forks. This 300 acres is located minutes away from the Grand Forks Air Force Base and right next to the Grand Forks Defense Fuel Support Point. The Chinese company wanted to build a corn mill. Another land grab was the 140,000 acres over in Texas. This is in Valverde County, Texas, and it's right next to the Laughlin Air Force Base. This Chinese company wanted to build a wind farm and tie into ERCOT. It was prevented. And one of the biggest was the 2012 Smithfield pork buyout. The largest producer of pork in the United States was bought out by a Chinese company, and it conveyed over 146,000 acres of land. We cannot buy land in China, and I almost accounted for 300,000 acres. There's way more.
Yeah, that's more believable. And you know what? There's a lot of Chinese people over here. They're not visible. If you owe 380,000 land, it's easy to disappear in the woodwork, and you won't see them on the street, sleeping on the street, homeless, uh, being deviant. If you look at the penitentiary system in the United States, it's rare to see a Chinese person in prison. Vietnamese, yes, but Chinese, no. I mean, they are, when they get here across the United States, they know how to act. They know how to disappear and go in oblivion. Something that a lot of people don't know how to do when they get here. They don't cause
Chinese
problems.
migrants are the fastest growing group trying to cross the U.S. southern border, and some of them are getting step-by-step instructions from TikTok. Last year, U.S. Customs and Border Protection reported that 37,000 Chinese citizens were apprehended as they illegally crossed the border. That's 50 times more than just 2 years earlier. Common reasons for leaving China include its increasingly repressive political climate and sluggish economy. At least 36,000 Chinese nationals have been ordered by U.S. immigration courts to leave the country, according to a 60 Minutes review of immigration and customs enforcement data. But China often refuses to take back citizens, and the U.S. can't force China to accept them. So with the odds in their favor, there's little to discourage more Chinese migrants from attempting to illegally cross the border from Mexico. Over 4 days, 60 Minutes witnessed nearly 600 migrants pass through a single 4-foot gap at the end of a border fence 60 miles east of San Diego. Mexico. They all passed through the gap and onto U.S. soil unchecked. But how did many Chinese migrants find out about the hole? Videos on TikTok. The videos feature step-by-step instructions for hiring smugglers and directions to the border gap. Once through the hole, the migrants walked about half a mile down a dusty road and waited in line for U.S. Border Patrol to arrive so they could surrender. For years, millions of Chinese entered the U.S. with a visa that allowed them to visit, work, or study, but tensions between the two countries have made these visas more difficult to acquire. In 2016, the U.S. granted 2.2 million temporary visas to Chinese nationals versus just 160,000 in 2022. Now, many are turning to the U.S. southern border, where they cross illegally and then attempt to make asylum claims, which can take years to be settled. Watch the full 60-minute story on YouTube and Paramount+.
Yep. Yeah. They come over, they take care of each other, they get jobs. They have jobs here waiting for them. They got more than 380,000 acres to squat on without being bothered. They don't have to worry about anything, for as I'm concerned, because nothing is going to happen. And you know what? You wonder how this lockdown is going to come about in Disease X. I'm going to be talking about Disease X coming a little in other videos and how to prepare for it, really get down and prepare for that. Because 64 million people are going to be put under real quick with that disease. They already predicted it. And we're going to have 100% lockdown. And you wonder, how is it that the disease X is going to come from China to United States? Well, this video explains that. And disease X is another Chinese version of COVID created by the WHO. You know who the WHO people are? The World Health Organization, the one that the United States fund, send millions and billions of dollars to. That just happened. The laboratory is in China. If you don't see how disease X is coming to be introduced into the United States, then you missed the point, whole point of this video. Because not only I was telling you about them migrating, but how other things are going to come with them, including this disease X. Please subscribe because I got more to tell you, more interesting facts and proof. Thank you.